Featherwood Camp, my off-grid hunting camp and homestead project. Well, obviously the first thing you do when you get a piece of land is get access to it. On my particular parcel, there was no driveway or previous access. So I had to just find the smoothest place to get off the highway, cut a few trees down until I had enough room to pull the van off the road. Little by little, I cut trees down and trimmed brush until I was able to get the van completely off the highway. The problem is, with an unimproved access, it was extremely muddy in wet weather, and I got stuck several times, once to the tune of a $150 tow bill. Not fun. Most of my initial visits up to the land were spent merely working on trimming brush and widening and lengthening the amount of room that I had to pull off. Weekends were spent with many bonfires every evening, simply burning brush piles that I had trimmed and set aside. In order to have an actual official access, I did have to get a permit from MnDOT, and in order to do this, I had to hire an excavating company to make a regulation type of access. The key to making a driveway is to get rid of the topsoil and get down to the base layer so that you can then put class 5 on it. Otherwise, if you just throw class 5 on the topsoil, eventually it will just mix in and become a class 5 muddy mess. I have to admit, I wasn't happy to spend the money to have the access professionally done. However, with the huge amount of rock that's in the land and the big rocks that's just under the soil, it really, in the long run, was the right thing to do, and actually ended up making life less stressful for me, knowing that I could safely get in and out of the land from the highway. The next thing I did was rent a stump grinder and ground down the stumps for the rest of the driveway that I had cleared by hand. I spent some time digging stumps out initially, but after spending several hours on each stump, it quickly came to the realization that a stump grinder could make quick work of this. Once the major leveling was completed and the stumps ground out, as you can see, I had a fairly level driveway that I used for about a year. Unfortunately, what happened over time was rocks and roots kind of emerged up to the surface of the driveway, and as I continued to drive on it, ruts developed from when the soil was soft. So even though we had rented a bobcat and cleared the area and smoothed it out, over time it would certainly need to have more topsoil removed and class 5 brought in to make it a good, solid base. Sure.
Turn it around! Whoa, don't hit the tree! Turn harder! Up! Lift it up. Tilt your bucket. Grab it with your bucket. Lift. Tilt your bucket up.